Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Adjective, Noun Gaming. We got a new series for y'all today featuring my fiance, Christa. How's it going, Christa?
Good. I'm doing good.
Yeah, this is the first time, I think, on any of my videos. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been way too damn long. It's been overdue, and I apologize for that. But, you know, we got Buddy Ben, we got Aaron, we got John, we've had Julie on here. But I haven't had my own damn fiance on for some reason. That seemed messed up.
So many people besides the most important person in your life.
Exactly. But we're here today. I think we're going to call this series, if we decide to move forward with it, this might just be an experimental thing because we might hate this game for all we know because neither one of us has ever played it, but we've always wanted to.
Yeah.
But this is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. This is primarily, it's a Capcom game, but I think it was only available on like mobile devices and like tablets and Nintendo devices. But recently, this week, actually yesterday, they just brought this to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and computer. So we're playing this on PC. This is the trilogy of the first 3 original games. These are very text-heavy, dialogue-based attorney games, as you can tell from the screen. So what do you say we get started here and see if we can win a case?
Yeah.
All right. So you have Ace Attorney, which is the very first game. You have Justice for All. And then you have Trials and Tribulations. So we're going to start with just the first one. I think we're going to call this series Objection, a Phoenix Wright LP, because Objection, well, the only thing, I've watched other people play this game before, and the only thing I know about it is that you can push a button and then your guy yells Objection, and it's like this big cartoon bubble that comes up with the word Objection in it.
I mean, if you've seen a movie or TV show with lawyers, you've always just wanted to yell objection at
Exactly.
people.
So as you can tell, this is a very anime type game. The characters and the art style are definitely very emphasizing on the anime aspect of it, which is cool. So this is episode 1, the first Turnabout. So that's what we're going to play because there's no other option.
It does feel like a phone game, like you'd play it on your phone.
Yeah, for sure. I had this game on my phone at one point. I don't know if it was still linked to my dad's iTunes account, and that's why I lost it, because we shared an iTunes account for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I checked my download history on my iPhone the other day, and I don't have it anymore, so.
Because I swear you had some kind of game like this on your phone
I probably
a long time
did,
ago.
because the Trilogy is available on iOS devices.
Maybe you did have something like it, or this game. You might have had this game.
Could have, yeah. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. Okay. So actually, you might want to get your phone, Christa, and like take notes occasionally. I've purposely kept myself in the dark on this game because I've always wanted to experience it for myself. I've just watched a little gameplay here and then, but I'd imagine taking notes would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, probably.
So that way we actually know what we're talking about. So this is August 3rd, 9:47 a.m., no year given. So I'm assuming it probably just takes place in whatever year the game came out. And this is the District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Well, now.
Yeah, of course.
This is anime. That's one thing we know for sure. This is anime.
Yes.
So Phoenix Wright owes his client a favor. You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Okay, so that's probably important.
Yeah.
Seems like a very unethical case right from the start, too, to have like a personal attachment to your client, but...
Like a
conflict of interest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, there he is. His name's Butts.
There's the anime eyes.
Yep, perfect. Yep, and then there's the anime thumbs up. with the winky face. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. I ain't afraid to die. This guy's name is Larry Butts.
Perfect name. Classy.
So wait, he's calling me Nick, so is my name not actually Phoenix?
Maybe that's Phoenix is the name of your law firm?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Well, I mean, he knows... This guy knows me, so he must know my real name. So Nick must be my real name.
Yeah, Phoenix must just be a nickname then, I guess.
Okay. The newspapers say it was you. Okay. Yeah, look, my name is Phoenix Wright. Well, maybe, okay, because, like, if you take the Nicks in Phoenix, maybe it's like Nick,
well,
Nick, you know what I mean?
But you would say Nick's.
Yeah. Okay, my first case is a fairly simple one. So this is his girlfriend, Larry's girlfriend. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her, Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. So yeah, so he's going to defend his own best friend for his first case. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. Yep. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. Okay. 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Okay. All right, so here's the courtroom. The trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, it is. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances...
I'm just curious, but why would they let him take on the case if they knew he was his friend?
Yeah, the whole thing kind of falls apart the more you think about it, I have a feeling. So it's probably best not to think about it a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Okay. So we're going to have to pass this test. This will be our first real test in this game. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case.
Larry Butts.
Okay. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on.
They never even mentioned her name yet, right?
The victim's name is listed in the court record. Okay, just press tab to check it anytime. So in my case, I'm using an Xbox One gamepad, so it'll be the right bumper. Okay. Here we go. So... Cindy Stone is the victim in this case. So we can go over. So Mia Fey is the one we met at the beginning, my boss and a very good defense attorney. Larry Butts is the defendant in this case, a likable guy who's been my friend since grade school. Cindy Stone, the victim in this case, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. And Winston Payne is the prosecutor for this case. Lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across. Okay. So yeah, we can pan back and forth between profiles and evidence. So all we have for evidence right now is my attorney's badge and the autopsy report. So she had a loss of blood due to blunt trauma. So we know her name is Cindy Stone, not Cinder Block and not Mia Fey.
Not Tina Fey.
Yeah, not Tina Fey either. Thank God she's not dead. What was the cause of death? She died because she was hit with a blunt object.
Yep.
You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Okay.
That's kind of like rude. Like, how dare you test my intelligence?
Yeah. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? Okay, so statue of the thinker. So that might be a good note to take. Because I don't know. I wonder if they'll add it to evidence after he's done talking. But just to be safe, I don't know how reliable this is because I've never played this before, obviously. So I would assume it would get added to this evidence file once he talks about it more. But it's the thinker statue. It's found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Oh, okay, so there we go. So it does get added to the record. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check. Okay, so it's right bumper. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. What do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Okay. Is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Oh boy, we're already falling apart.
Yep. I wasn't dumb, she just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me ever. What you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men.
More like ghosted you.
So she was seeing other men. That might be another good note to take. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. So I have a feeling this could be another suspect in this case as well.
Who?
They haven't given a name yet, but she was with a man that she just returned from overseas with. Being one of them. Lies, all of it lies. Okay, Your Honor, the victim's passport. So this will be a piece of evidence that gets added. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. So the passport. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30 the day before the murder.
Okay.
Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. The victim was a model but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar?
Daddies?
Yes, older men
daddies.
who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Stop him from answering?
Yeah, stop him.
Okay.
He's blubbering. Oh boy.
Okay. I believe the accused motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. He went.
Oh man.
What do I do?
Have him answer honestly?
Yeah, that sounds right. I was there. I went. Well, Mr. Butts, dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawwit to the stand.
Saw it? Eh?
Yeah.
God.
Mr. Solid, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is that correct? So we saw a clip at the beginning of this game of him pinning this on butts.
Yeah.
So we know that this guy's the guy that actually did it then, right? We just have to find a way to prove it.
I would be more suspicious of the guy who found the body than the person
fleeing the scene.
Yeah, I don't know.
Please tell the court what you saw on the date of the murder. Okay, witness testimony. Door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. Okay. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. So write that down. So saw it, claims to have seen the body at 1 p.m. exactly. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? At the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
I mean, it might have been cut.
However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor,
That's convenient.
I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity in Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. So he says that he saw her at 1 p.m., so that fits in the time of the blackout. Now, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Oh boy.
This is when it's going to get fun.
Yep. Alright, right, this is it, the real deal. Okay, let's take a look here and see what we got. So wait, time of death 4 to 5 p.m. Okay, never mind. That still fits inside the blackout time frame.
But
then.
they found the body at 1 p.m.
But he claimed, yeah. So why did he say 1 p.m. if the time of death is 4 to 5? Okay, write that down somewhere, that there's a discrepancy between the time of death and the time that Sawit found the body. And then the victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30, July 30th, the day before the murder. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a discrepancy there. And this guy, a newspaper salesman.
You would think the prosecution would have taken care of that discrepancy.
Yeah. You exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies. He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. So first, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Open the court record with tab, then point out contradictions in the testimony. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I gotta find the thing. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. That. Yep.
Okay. Here we go. You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement
Slams the table.
Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. I mean, to be fair, if I was a lawyer, I would be the cockiest motherfucker.
You would.
Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Yep, he's sweating. Oh, that. Oh, This
I
is
love
trivial.
that.
The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Saw it? Why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. Okay. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Okay, so he's going to give another testimony about the time of discovery. Okay. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. How would she have been watching a video of a taped program if there was a blackout?
Yeah.
Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay.
You can because of the blackout.
Yeah. So in this case, I would... Now I'm trying to think of exactly which thing they're looking for here. So...
But 3 hours, if they're saying between 4 and 5 p.m., with 3 hours before that would still fit in the time of the blackout.
So I think the blackout record.
Yeah. That would be it.
Okay.
Oh, we got him sweating.
You couldn't have heard a television or a video. I find it quite puzzling myself.
You keep changing your story, bro.
Once more. Okay, so he gets to tell it again, so we gotta look for a third lie. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. It was not the murder weapon.
No,
It was the statue. So there we go.
This judge is so gullible.
Yeah, this judge. This must be the judge's first day on the job too. Okay, here we go. Wait just a moment. Murder weapon wasn't a clock, it was this statue. Now how is that supposed to be a clock? You with your objections and your evidence, just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Solid. I saw it there. Okay, that's a clock. This statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. Shit.
Well, god damn it. I mean, we don't have anything else really, do we?
I don't think so.
There's really nothing else we can...
Yeah. You're right. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand, yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment? Or knew the victim? Okay. He says he discovered the body, but it doesn't say anything about him knowing her.
I mean, yeah, we can't assume.
I'm gonna say because he went into the apartment. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawat, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Will the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day I never. Oh boy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think through it carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawat heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply examine the batteries, ask the neighbors, try sounding the clock.
It's rather heavy. I don't know. I don't think
yeah, it doesn't say anything in the description of the clock about batteries. And there was never anything about any of the neighbors and anything, so I think that they have to try sounding it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm indecisive. I'm sorry.
I asked the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawat heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawat, try to talk your way out of this one.
Oh, God.
You've got one thing. While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. Because of the blackout.
Yeah.
It seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawat. I almost had him. Well. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. That doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes.
I mean, the blackout.
Yeah. You say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? So it'd be the blackout record, right?
Yeah.
I can't see what that evidence has to do with the clock. What? One more chance. Be quick about it. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Oh, maybe Paris? Like, was the time different because of Paris? Well, I mean, it's the only other piece of evidence that we have that make any sense.
But also the time of death was 4 to 5 p.m. and he said it was 1 p.m.
Yeah.
That's...
It's either that or the passport.
YOLO.
The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Solid, or should I say Mr. Did It? Well... Okay, well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Fuck yeah!
Hell yeah!
We did it! Oh, look at all that confetti in that courtroom. I wish they did. I wish they did that. Yeah, I wish they did that with every case. And with that, this court is adjourned. All right, we did good. But this game is going to be tricky. I can tell already. Like, it's only going to get harder from here. He posed as a newspaper salesman. That's clever. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day.
Yeah.
When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawit let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawit grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find, which was that clock. So yeah, this is why taking notes would come in handy, because that journal like doesn't keep everything. Like it just it keeps like the little blurb that like initially comes with it. I still can't believe we won.
She looks younger than him. How is she his boss?
I don't know. Maybe is it in the court record how old she is? Yeah, 27, but my age isn't in here anywhere. So maybe Phoenix Wright's like early 20s.
That's pretty young for an attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, this guy's fucked up.
He needs some help.
Yeah, he does. My Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever.
Cindy Windy?
Harry? Harry Butts innocent. Amazing. I won't forget this one ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh god, he gives me the clock as a gift.
Can you
sure.
do that though?
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
That's a murder weapon.
Oh, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me.
Oh, okay. Good clarification.
So this thing was used to beat her to death, so I'm assuming they had to clean the blood off of it, and now he's giving it to his best friend, who is also his attorney, as a gift for winning the case.
But no. He said there's a double. He had one of his own.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But still, that's still weird.
Why did he have the double with him? If he had the double with him all this time, he just gave it if he just gave the double to me as a gift, that means he had the double with him the whole time. So why did he have that with him? He could have like spoke up and said, "Hey, this is a clock. This makes noise."
He was a fucking mess on the stand anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
It probably wouldn't have helped things.
Yeah.
More than anything, it'd have been more incriminating because he had the same clock.
So what? Something to prove she was thinking about him? Would it be in the autopsy report?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
The clock, maybe? Or the passport?
I don't know. Here you go, Larry. Proof. It's okay, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll forget about her soon enough. Okay. Guess that wasn't the right thing to show him. Okay, well, who knows? Hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself.
Oh
right?
boy, we're
Listen,
getting deep.
Learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. To innocent butts.
Yep.
Speaking of
Great.
Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. You have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks?
Are we supposed to have like a fling with her or something?
It sounds like it.
Getting.
And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. Ooh.
Oh boy.
And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Damn, that's the end of the first episode. And that means that's
cool.
going to be the end of our first episode as well. Thank you for tuning in. So next time we come back, so it looks like they added a brand new episode, the Turnabout Sisters. Oh yeah, definitely. Gotta save that progress.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, thank you for joining me, Christa. You were a lot of help this time. We're going to definitely have to turn up the heat for the next couple episodes, though, because I can only imagine we're going to have to pay really close attention. I'm going to have you take some really good notes, and we're just going to try to fuck some more shit up.
Hell yeah.
All right, and so for us here at Adjective Noun Gaming, this has been the first episode of Objection, a Phoenix Wright LP. Thanks for being here today, Christa.
Yes.
And we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.